For the third consecutive year, the Pro Bowlers Tour makes a stop here in Bay City, Michigan. Tonight, 4 champions and a player trying to make his mark. In the opening match, an 18-time PBA champion. However, he hasn't won since the fall of 1997. Amleto Monacelli. He'll face our number 4 seed, looking for his first victory, which would qualify him for the Brunswick Tournament of Champions. One of 3 lefties in the field, Richard Wolfe. The winner then moves on to take on 4-time PBA champion. He was the 1991 Rookie of the Year, Ricky Ward. In the number 2 position, making his 9th television appearance of the year. Still looking for his first win of '99, Jason Couch. And our top-seeded player, a 5-time titleist, including one of this year's majors, the PBA National Championship from Bel Air, Maryland, Tim Criss. This week, we're at the other city by the bay, Bay City, Michigan, at Bay Lanes. A great week culminating with tonight's championship round. Hi, everyone. I'm Phil Ferguson, along with my broadcast partner, Marshall Holman. Marshall, Amleto Monacelli, experienced, veteran, proven champion against Richard Wolfe, hasn't won. Advantage, I would imagine, Monacelli.
Big advantage, Monacelli. Amleto's got the confidence. Been there many times, 18 times the titleist. So we'll see how it plays out.
First shot here tonight. Nice to have you along.
Well, I saw a lot of that, not only in the practice today, but yesterday I was watching the match play. The carry was not as easy this week as it was in weeks past. The scores certainly proved that out, as it took quite a bit lower average to make it to the top 5 this week.
Monacelli goes for the spare, picks it up. You're right, Marshall. Average to make match play or the top 24, just 215, and average to make the finals, the television show, at 221. Bit different. Now we get a look at Richard Wolfe, the lefty out of Falls Church, Virginia, 32 years old.
And a man with great style, very, very good form. And fortunate just to leave the 3-pin.
Knees were knocking on that one. Bonus 9.
Well, he's a little bit nervous, and understandably so. He really does. He has what it takes physically to get it done. Just needs to put it together mentally.
Picks up the spare, so a couple of spares to start off this opening match.
All right.
What, that tough shot, that first shot, always tough, isn't it?
Well, it is, and you know, it was important that he did get the break and was able to make the spare, but he's going to have to put some pressure on Monacelli and really take the heat off of himself. There's a nice reaction. A good shot from Richard Wolfe. Take a look at the classic style of Richard Wolfe. Nice push away, shoulder high back swing, and I mean this is how you want your kids to bowl. This is just a beautiful form.
The result, a strike. So Wolfe, spare strike. Monacelli a spare in the first, up in the second.
Lane 24 not hooking quite as much. Monacelli going a little more direct, and a direct hit for 10 in the pit.
Bowling on lanes 23 and 24 here at Bay Lanes, the only international player in the PBA Hall of Fame. Amleto Monacelli with 18 titles, been out here 18 years, inducted into the Hall of Fame back in 1997. Works out religiously, in great shape. Little light, but able to kick it out. Monacelli, I talked about his workout routine, Marshall. You'd appreciate this. Works out aerobics one day, running, then lifting.
Well, and it pays off. He's mentally sharp, and I think, as you can see, the pins rattling down. Monacelli, fortunate, gets a good roll of the pins, but I really think that the workout ethic helps him in his bowling and keeps him very, very mentally sharp. Well, it's the same shot. The 3-pin stands. I watched him practice, and Richard Wolfe threw a number of different bowling balls trying to get the right combination. Looks like on lane 24, he hasn't found it yet.
7 new champions here in 1999. Richard trying to make it 8. He picks up the spare. Still a long way to go. 4 matches tonight here in the Bay City Classic. His wife, Richard's wife, Debbie, a solid performer. She averages 212 back home with a 300 game. So.
Well, won't be any 300 game for Richard tonight. Wolfe, the best he can shoot right now is 270, and well, he just like to get a strike here on lane 23 and then sit down and figure out what he wants to do on 24. Well, 3 out of 4. He's got the 3-pin staring at him again. Ball will come in light. Head pin goes to the sideboard, and it does quite a bit of damage. Takes out everything but the 3-pin. Spares will not win this match for Richard Wolfe.
Wolfe picks up the spare, but it's Amleto Monacelli who has taken charge here in the Bay City Classic, our opening match. Monacelli with the 11-pin lead early in match 1. Monacelli now up in the 4th frame, working on a double.
And the confident Amleto Monacelli with his 3rd strike in a row, taking advantage of Richard Wolfe right now.
Wolfe struggling just a bit. Monacelli won here a couple of years ago, and I believe he beat Jason Couch, who led the tournament by over 500 pins. So Monacelli trying to make it 2 out of 3.
And he's made the telecast here every year, 3 out of 3. Very comfortable at Bay Lanes. Oh, ball coming in a little bit high, but able to knock them all down. Monacelli 4 in a row. Monacelli's ball coming from way out on the right side. Comes in just a little high. Fortunate the ball did stop, and certainly happy to have a strike on a shot that really could have been a little bit of trouble, Phil.
So Richard Wolfe has to get it going. Now up in the 5th frame, down by 31. 11th place finish, his best of 99.
Now there's an adjustment. They throw the ball a little bit slower there. Got the ball into the pocket.
Much better shot. The countdown continues as ESPN honors the greatest 50 North American athletes of the 20th century. Friday night at 10:30 Eastern Time. Carl Lewis is featured as number 12 on the list. His 4 gold medals in Los Angeles in 1984 tied Jesse Owens' Olympic mark for track and field, and was just the beginning of a career that saw Lewis win 10 Olympic medals, 9 of them gold, through the 96 Atlantic Games. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
Yeah! I think he liked that one, Phil.
Do it a little bit harder, it looked like, Marshall, and he's on a double.
Well, he wants to let Mr. Monacelli know that he's going to put up a fight.
Monacelli working on 4 in a row.
Ball comes in a little bit light, leaves the 10-pin. Ball just doesn't make the turn early enough. It went about an extra 4 or 5 feet down the lane before it made the turn back up to the pocket. Fortunate just to leave the 10-pin. He'll go hard and straight with the spare ball. And no problem for Monacelli. And interesting, Phil, on this particular pair, the right lane doesn't hook as much for the right-hander, so you would think that the left lane would be like that for the lefty, but actually the right lane is tighter for both right-handed players and left-handed players. Doesn't happen very often that way.
Monacelli up by 20. Hasn't won in a couple of years. Best finish this year, 2nd. just a beautiful shot off the hand of Amleto Monacelli. So Monacelli leads by 20 over non-champion Richard Wolfe.
Call on our
Look for the new track champ at your local pro shop.
Here in Bay City, Michigan, and we have got a game now. The match is on as Richard Wolfe has come back. He is double now, trails by just 20.
And a huge shot in the 7th frame for Wolfe, able to take this 20-pin deficit, make it 10. Strong roll for Wolfe.
Come on, right here.
Likes to use the power. It's going to come back hard in the 1-2 pocket, scattering the pins down, much to the pleasure of Richard Wolfe.
He's made a nice adjustment on that lane after opening up with a couple of light hits on that particular lane. He has come back now with 3 in a row. Bowls sparingly on tour. He told me last night he's going to bowl a lot more tournaments next year.
Well, it's the 3 and the 6. Came in light. Unfortunate for Richard Wolfe. The opportunity to tie the match up, Phil, and yeah, he's lucky just to have those two standing. It could have been the bucket, which is a very difficult spare to make. Shouldn't be any problem here picking up the 3 and the 6.
Picks up the spare in the 8th frame. Richard Wolfe again needs a win to qualify for the Brunswick Tournament of Champions in a couple of weeks. There's the commissioner, Mark Gerbrick, talking to co-proprietor Johnny Mazza.
Just got the 10-pin to fall through the ball a little slower. This is a lane that doesn't hook back quite as good, Phil. Take a look at the ball rolling down the lane into the pocket nicely. Looks like the 7-10. Well, maybe just the 7-pin. And Amleto's got the eyes going. He's very concerned at this moment.
No problem with that 7-pin spare, but it's a tight one.
Well, that was an opportunity for Monacelli, who was working on a strike, to take it up to 22 pins. It remains a 12-pin lead. And this match is going down to the wire. You can see Monacelli, it looks as if he's, well, he is. He's wearing a headband. Keep the hair out of his eyes. I haven't had that problem in years.
That's set in there, but leaves the 9-pin.
Well, he was coming very close to that in the last couple of frames on lane 23. Ball was coming in just a bit high. Now watch as the ball is going to drive right past the 9-pin, showing absolutely no respect for the 3-pound 10-ounce Brunswick Pro pins. That's part Monacelli and that's part technology.
Picks up that single Brunswick pin spare. So Monacelli with a mark in that 9th frame. Richard Wolfe down by just 11. He trailed by as many as 31 pins, making a run.
And all sorts of scenarios possible right now. If Wolfe strikes out, he would force Monacelli to strike out to win by 1. Wolfe has a possible 237, Monacelli possible 238.
Yeah!
Well, he liked it right off his hand. You could hear him say, yeah, as soon as he released it.
Get off your hand, baby. Right here, come on.
Now giving himself some encouragement, and he knows how important this next shot is. This is his chance to get a little bit of the monkey off his back. Even if he strikes out and Monacelli strikes out and Wolfe loses, at least he'll take this experience of making the shot when he needed it. It'll help him the next time, but still, chance to win. she comes. There she goes.
Oh, my. Richard Wolfe with a strike in the 10th frame. Now a double.
Little messenger help for Richard Wolfe. Take a look at the head pin going to the sideboard and just sort of leisurely cruising back towards the 7 pin. Not sure if it's going to get it, but oh yeah, just enough. You think he's not a little bit pleased right now?
He hung in there to the bitter end, and a sweet ending to that particular shot.
For the lead. Richard Wolfe coming through.
Possible 237. Monacelli 238 if he strikes out.
Seems to be having a pretty good time, don't you think? Fun when you come through. Another very important shot. The strike here would force Monacelli to throw 3 strikes in the 10th frame to win by 1 pin on a lane that Monacelli hasn't been doing that good on. Well, doors open a little bit. It's 235. Richard Wolfe. Monacelli needs 2 strikes and 8 pins.
He's won 18 titles out on tour, and right now needs a couple of strikes and 8, and he'll move on.
Well, you'd expect him to make a good shot, but will he carry? Well, there's the 10 pin. He did make the good shot, but was not able to get the carry. Richard Wolfe, he's your winner.
An impressive opening match. Richard Wolfe, non-winner. 235, and the best Monacelli can do 227. So Richard Wolfe standing there, and he is set now to take on left-hander Ricky Ward in our second match here in Bay City, Michigan at Bay Lanes. A boy exciting, coming right down to that final frame. Back with more in a minute. Welcome back to Bay City, Michigan, the Bay City Classic. 235 to 226. Non-winner Richard Wolfe moves on, and he will take on Ricky Ward here in match 2. Hi, everyone. I'm Phil Ferguson, along with my broadcast partner, Marshall Holman. And Marshall, an exciting match, came right down to that final frame.
Well, and Richard Wolfe surprised me. He really did come through. Amleto made a great shot in the 10th frame, but Wolfe got it done in the 10th, striking in the 10th, the 11th, and putting the pressure right back on Monacelli. I'm very, very I'm proud of him. I tell you, great performance.
You know, Richard Wolfe has to win 4 matches. Another great player, Mark Roth, won many, many titles. Never won 4 games on TV to win. It's very tough to do it. He's got a tough field.
It's going to be real tough to do it. He's got Ricky Ward in the next match, the number 3 qualifier. Our number 1 qualifier, Tim Criss. He'll have to bowl him for the title. But first, they're going to have to go through this man to my right, Jason Couch. And Jason, as far as I'm concerned, you're the best bowler on tour this year to not have won a title. This is your 9th telecast. What do you feel the difference is between bowling and qualifying and match play and then bowling on the telecast itself?
Well, there's no question, Marshall, that there's a little more pressure on you to perform well on TV. It's like a whole new tournament. You know, you just have to go through the same old routines and try and get it done. I've mentally prepared myself better for tonight than I have in the weeks past, and I plan to win.
All right. Now, I know you were talking with Del Ballard yesterday, and I had a little conversation with you as well. And we were talking a little bit about trying to forget about what it might have been like yesterday, the day before, and concentrate on what you are going to have to combat with today.
Right. I think the advice that you gave me last night, treat it like a whole new tournament. And if you don't like what you see, go out there and get it done yourself. Dig deep and get it done, and I'm going to think about that every shot tonight.
All right. Well, good luck to you. All right, Phil, back up to you.
It will be Richard Wolfe taking on Ricky Ward. Ward has won 4 titles, and Richard Wolfe came through big time in the first match. As Ricky Ward now just finishing up his final practice shot as we get set for match 2. And I had mentioned Amleto Monacelli advantage early on, but a good match.
Well, Wolfe came through, and you know, that's what you have to. Finally, you've got to figure out a way to get it done, because the more time that you continue to not come through in the clutch, the tougher it becomes the next time you bowl on television. So applaud Richard Wolfe, and Right now we've got a good matchup against a couple of tough lefties. The advantage, you would have to like Ricky Ward because he is a player who's a great clutch shooter, and he's the one that's won tournaments. So we'll wait and see. Looking a little more comfortable though, Phil. Richard Wolfe on lane 23.
Boy, he settled in nicely. A couple of errant shots in the first three frames of match one, and he has come back strong. Good look at Ricky Ward, 31 years old, out of Fort Myers, Florida.
And something distracted Ricky. If I was Ricky, I'd put the ball down, start all over again. He's decided to hang on to the ball. Well, that's why I do the talking and Ricky does the bowling.
Splattered the pins for a strike in the first frame.
And you know, all the players have reputations, and Wolfe understands the reputation of Ricky Ward as being, you know, just a tenacious clutch performer.
The light.
A little quick.
Said he threw that ball a little quick. Has to give it a chance to hook back into the pocket. It's the 3 and the 9. Difficult spare with the double wood.
Making his 4th championship round appearance this year. 5 telecasts in '98.
Well converted.
I'm getting no tougher than this.
Wolfe now up in the second frame after an impressive win over Amleto Monacelli in the opening match. Wolfe won it with a 235 to Monacelli's 226. Shot a little high, right on the nose.
Chance to really take advantage of Ricky Ward, and unfortunately comes in high. Now let's take a look at Dexter footwork of the pros, and it is Richard Wolfe. And we're using wood approaches and synthetic lanes this week, and Rich has opted to use a heel and a sole combination to create better leverage and a more powerful release. That's the Dexter footwork of the pros, and he does convert the 4-7.
This match all even as we head into the third frame. Jason Couch in that number 2 position, our tournament leader, Tim Criss. Richard going to some rosin.
Just to get a little better feel, keep his hand dry. Solid 7-pin. But he feels good about that shot. He threw it where he wanted to. Didn't get the carry.
Just the 7-pin standing for Wolfe. Would love to win today. In a couple of weeks, he'd be in the TSC.
Hard and straight. Oh, it hangs on, no problem. Had it all the way.
Ricky Ward strike on this frame before he's taken a re-rack. I'll tell you what, it has been a phenomenal year. Look at that Parker Bone, 228.5 average for the season. Walter Ray Williams Jr. last year, 226, so Parker's going to break that. And I had to look in the record books. Marshall Hole in 1987, Player of the Year. You averaged 216.8 that year. How times have changed.
Well, scores have gotten higher. Ricky Ward with the strike on lane 24, and one of the reasons the scores have gotten higher is just the dynamics of the equipment. The bowling balls are so much stronger. Watch this ball that just eats up that 5-pin. Now these are heavy pins, but the ball didn't seem to care.
What kind of adjustment will Ricky make? He came in light last time on this lane.
Probably a speed adjustment. He said he threw too hard. He made the right adjustment. Ricky Ward getting the double, taking an 11-pin lead over Richard Wolfe in the second match.
Well, here on ESPN, great to have you by. On this Wednesday night, Ricky Ward with the early advantage. He's on a double. Richard Wolfe, a couple of spares after an opening strike.
Well, better projection down the lane. Came in high on lane 24 in the second frame. Boy, it's such a game of feel and touch, and it comes and goes so quickly. It looked as if he was just absolutely lined in towards the end of the last game, and now just a little bit of a struggle.
Wolfe with a pleasant smile. Picks up the spare. You can access all the latest information about the PBA by checking out the PBA's website at www.pbatour.com. The site, sponsored by Brunswick, features all the latest tournament standings, stories, stats, and news from the PBA, as well as game-by-game updates during match play and scheduled live chats with the pros. Wolfe now in the fifth frame, down by 12.
Seven pin again.
It's not making it.
Ball just not making the corner. You can see his average, 216.18. I guess that would have led the averages back in 1987.
Or 84, I think, when you had 213 to lead the tour.
And he said just make the spare, and loss of concentration. Misses the 7 pin.
All right, can't do that. Can't do that.
Ball just hooking by the 7 pin ever so slightly, and you're right, you can't do that. It gives the huge advantage to Ricky Ward, both in extra pins and extra confidence.
Steady at the line. Great result off the hand of Ricky Ward. 3 in a row. And he leads by 34. We had mentioned about Parker Bone averaging 228 plus. Looks for sure that he'll be player of the year when you take a look at rookie of the year. Paul Fleming having a nice year. Tony Reyes, a couple of good young players.
It's still up in the air, but those two, Reyes and Fleming, certainly the leading candidates by far. Well, it's just not that much of a surprise. Ricky Ward, a very, very accomplished bowler and very mature player, as you'll see what every bowler loves to see, high flush. Richard Wolfe, 32 years old, a year older. He gets the strike, a year older than his competitor, Ricky Ward, but Ricky Ward certainly the more mature of the two players as far as his bowling career is concerned. Nice kick of the 7 pin, 4 pin into the channel, bang, back out, knocks it down. Happy to see that. He's kind of, it's been a long time since the ball actually hit the pocket and struck, so.
Able to trip out the 7 pin for the strike. Now up in the 7th, down by 44.
He's not out of it, Phil. With that strike right there, it gets back to only a 34-pin deficit. Richard Wolfe trying to make a match out of it.
Nice look at the trophy to the right of the scoreboard as Richard Wolfe and Ricky Ward going at it. A couple of left-handers with Ward leading by 34, and he's working on 4 in a row.
Got to hurry. The ball was wide off his hand, and all of a sudden, Richie Wolfe with that double in the 6th and 7th.
Bad.
Ricky Ward doing a little color commentating, saying bad. And he's right.
Well, you go from a 34-pin lead to...
Well, this can be made, but certainly you wouldn't expect him to make it. Oh, so close. That's 9 out for Ward.
Boy, nice try through a couple of pins over there, trying to knock down that 7-pin.
That brings him down to a 214 game if he were to spare strike out. Right now, Richie Wolfe working at, well, 195, 196. 34-pin lead, 18 now. Puts it behind him quickly. Oh, after the errant shot on the right-hand lane, no problem here. 4-pin goes to the sideboard, knocks the 7-pin out. It's a strike in the 8th frame for Ricky Ward.
Wolfe down by 18. Boy, they missed spare in the 5th. They come back to haunt Richard Wolfe.
Hit a house. That was terrible. All right. That was terrible.
Yeah, trying to make sure he gets the ball up to the pocket, and he just overhit it. Needs to put the ball to the left-hand side of that 2-pin. Knock the 2-pin into the 4 and the 7. It can be made. And it was made. I'll tell you, one shot looks so bad, and just redemption with a wonderful split conversion.
Well, he has made some clutch shots over the first couple of matches.
Well, to have any chance, he really had to make this. Watch the 2-pin into the 4, 4-pin into the 2-pin into the 6, and the 6-pin into the 10. He's so nonchalant, had it all the way.
Possible 212. Should he strike out?
He's still kicking himself over that shot in the 8th frame, but he has life.
Wolfe looks on. Ricky Ward going at a 214 pace. Wolfe again strikes out, 212.
I'm not sure what that is that's bothering Ricky Ward on the right-hand lane, but he's balked twice.
It may be the light, the camera light. There's a red light when he's on camera, and then it goes off when he's off. But now we're saying that maybe perhaps somebody coughed, distracted him just a bit.
That leaves the 3 and the 9 difficult.
That lane.
Doesn't like that right-hand lane. Can't get the ball back to the pocket. The ball is going longer for both right-handed players and left-handed players on lane 24. Very speed sensitive, the bowling this week. Yeah, makes the spare. Still the opportunity with 2 strikes and 9 in the, excuse me, no, all he needs is a 19 fill. Makes the spare, very important. He knew it. And a little body English to help him go down. 9 spare strike, 19 fill in the 10th frame, and Ward will advance.
That's right.
Nice shot, a strike. Can wrap it up here with a 9 count on 2 balls. He likes that lane. Now he's got to think about the next match. I mean, not that he's won this one right yet, but has to start thinking about how to conquer lane 24.
Well, you're right. He hasn't. Oh, what a break. What a break.
That's taking your time.
Yeah, he's knocking himself because he
That's
went too
taking his
fast.
time.
Watch this. It's the Greek church. He's got 5 standing, and the 10-pin that falls out right at the last moment is absolutely huge, Phil, because now if he can just get the 3 pins on the left-hand side of the lane, he will be your winner.
So Ricky Ward comes through. 213, the best Richard Wolfe can do is 212, and Ricky Ward will move on to take on Jason Couch. Unbelievable finish as Richard Wolfe finishes out, but he's got a tough competitor, Ricky Ward does, and Jason Couch coming up, 5-time PBA winner. We'll be back with that match in a minute. And we're back at Bay Lanes in Bay City, Michigan. 213 to 192. Now Ricky Ward was on to take on another left-hander, Jason Couch.
Well, heck of a match, and we got some more finishers here. John Mazza, the proprietor of Bay Lanes, 8-time PBA champion, finished 7th. Mark Williams in 11th spot. He shot the high round last night, but boy, he had so far to come, just wasn't able to make up enough room. Dave Wadka, last week's champion. Probably tough to really get the emotions going to get him through at 16th place. Not a bad finish. And in 24th place, it's Butch Soper. Soper, the statistician who shares time between the PBA regular tour and the senior tour. Good to have Butch out here, and a nice finish for him as well.
All right, thanks a lot, Marshall. And speaking of Marshall, well, it's time for Score More with Brunswick Tip. Marshall teaming up with Chris Barnes, and today talking about concentration.
Whether you're bowling anchor for your league team or on national television like the PBA pros, every bowler will eventually run into a pressure situation where the result of the match comes down to one shot. Now, joining us today to talk about how he handles the pressure is the reigning PBA Rookie of the Year, Chris Barnes. Chris, nice to have you with us.
Great to be here, Marshall.
Chris, now how do you handle the pressure?
Well, pressure causes many people to tense up or to squeeze the ball. The key is to release enough of that tension so that you can allow yourself to make that one great shot. A trick taught to me by Dr. Eric Lasser of Team USA combines visualization and breathing. The key is to breathe in for a count of 4, hold it for 4, and then let that tension out for 4. After this, visualize the perfect shot. Remember, though, nothing beats experience.
And next time you're in a pressure situation, give Chris's techniques a try. Thanks, Chris.
We're back. There's the final score, 213 to 192. Ricky Ward coming through, and he will now take on Jason Couch, a 5-time winner on tour. Hasn't won here, though, in 1999. And we're set for the semifinal match, the Bay City Classic between Ricky Ward and Jason Couch. A couple of proven veterans.
Well, certainly not unusual to see these two guys going at it. Both tenacious competitors, and Ricky Ward with the advantage of the game under his belt. Ooh, ball coming in a little bit high, but held the pocket. All the pins respond. Our first look at Jason Couch, and boy, he's made the telecast 9 times, Bill. You can see 5'10", 185 pounds.
And he'll be 30 November 8th, just a couple of days. 9 televised appearances this year, has not won this year. First shot. And it's a strike. And Marshall, speaking of going through a drought, I remember a couple of years you had 20-plus appearances on television, couldn't win, so you kind of know what he's going through.
Oh, I know exactly what he's going through, and thank you for rubbing that in, Phil. It becomes habit forming. Winning begets winning, and bad play will get you more bad. So Couch has got to put it all behind him. Just concentrate on the now. Forget about what happened in the past. Oh, what a great shot on lane 23. Fortunate on 24 to get the splatter and power strike, but 23, everything you'd always want. Watch this ball that hooks back high flush. Gorgeous.
Is there a problem lane here for Ricky Ward? And have you seen much from Jason Couch yet, although he has 2 strikes?
The right lane has been the problem lane for both righties and lefties. Oh! Strong shot from Ward. Watch the messenger head pin to the sideboard, and bang.
Both players starting off with 2 strikes here in the semifinal match. Pretty good year for Ricky. 14 cashes out of 17 events. 11 top 24 finishes. Very consistent.
Oh, a little bit of serendipity for Ricky Ward. Pin splattering all over the place. Watch this light hit take care of. The head pin's going to do a lot of damage. Happens too, and even in slow motion is too fast to know what pin did what. Does he like it? Is he lucky? Maybe a little bit. Jason Couch using 2 different balls. A ball that hooks a little harder on 24 because it doesn't have the back ends the 23 does. And exactly the same shot. Take a look at Jason Couch. He had an inch and a half to spare before he fouls.
Couch, great year, although he has not won.
Well, certainly the most consistent player on the tour. Six pin. Came in high.
Good shot.
Ball's going to creep up high, Phil. Almost trips out the 6, but it'll be no better than a spare for Couch.
Couch had mentioned trying to fight those inner demons on television. He says he's always a bit nervous on TV, and anxiety as he picks up that spare. So Couch, a 3-bagger and a spare, and Ricky Ward with 3 in a row.
Ward with the opportunity to make that 11-pin lead with a strike here on lane 24.
That's 4 in a row for Ricky Ward.
Well, now let's take a look at the Dexter footwork of the pros. You see Ricky Ward. Now, Ricky doesn't like the heel to stop too quickly, so he uses a combination of a heel and sole to allow for a very long slide and a heavy hand. Boy, looking good right there, Ricky Ward. And that's another Dexter footwork of the pros.
Looking at a battle between a couple of former Rookie of the Year players. 91 for Ricky, 92 for Jason Couch.
He likes it. Boy, you can see it right after the ball's released. The body language tells you whether the pro made the shot he was trying to make. And here's a statement shot right here. 5 strikes in a row for Ricky Ward. Jason Couch only made 1 shot that wasn't great. As you can see the happy reaction of Ward.
Well, another one for Jason Couch after 3 in a row of spare, and comes back with a strike in the 5th. Coming up right after bowling, stay tuned for Sports Center, scores and highlights. Of course, the NBA season tipped off last night. NHL action, the latest from the Ball Diamonds. Any more trades? Maybe the Indians got a pitcher. I don't know. Sports Center immediately following bowling tonight at 11 o'clock on ESPN.
I'm kind of interested to see where this kid Griffey Jr. is going to be going.
He's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
What's a lot of money.
2 strikes in a row for Couch. Deficit now 11 pins, and certainly mentally right back in the match. Take a look at Couch. Look at that high backswing and the great knee bend right by the foul line, but very much in control.
Ricky Ward with the first 5 in the 6th frame, up by 11.
Just the 3-pin. That lane very problematic for both the players. Ball will come in light. Familiar shot, and really fortunate just to get 9. Easily could have left the 3-pin with the 7. Lead down to 10. I was just getting ready to tell the people about the 300 game possibility, but that goes by the wayside.
Ricky won earlier this year in Reno. Won from the top seated spot over Mike Miller, 240 to 193. Averaging 224 this year. Over 500 games bowled, so.
Another messenger strike for Ward, and that's that's more Jason Couch's forte, getting those power strikes. But for Ricky Ward, he's bowled 7 frames. He's got 6 strikes. Head pin to the sideboard. Here comes that head pin, knocking down the 7. Ward with a 10-pin lead.
Great crowds all week long here at Bay Lanes, the 3rd consecutive year. We've been coming to this particular center. Boy, Phil Strike and John Mazza, co-proprietors, put on a great show. And then John Mazza had to bowl on top of it and did very well.
John had a good week, and boy, if he could have just got it going a little bit sooner, might be watching him bowl right now.
There's John.
And his lovely bride, Leslie.
Couch up in the 7th frame, down by 10.
To square the match. 3 and the 9. That's the lane that has to be mastered in order to get the job done today. It's just got a little more of a hang spot on it, Phil. He's down by 12 pins now, and he needs desperately to make this spare. Going with the big hook. Here she comes. No problem.
So now we're getting down to it. The 8th, 9th, and 10th frames, and it's a Jason Couch down by 12. Couch with a spare in the 7th. Ricky Ward with a strike.
Now this is where you make your money on the Pro Bowlers Tour. Last few frames of the game. Continue to use a different ball on both lanes. And I think if Jason had his way, he'd just stay on lane 23. Go, Ricky, come on. Good profile look of Jason Couch. Really reaches way out onto the lane. The projection is what really makes his game great. All the pins responding.
Creeping ever so close to that foul line, but Ricky Ward in charge. And looking for a double.
Another one. I've never seen Ricky Ward have so many messenger strikes in one game, and I wager to guess that Ricky Ward's never seen him have so many messengers in one game. Again, the head pin to the sideboard. And like it has eyes, just knocking down that 10. And speaking of eyes, he's got to like what he sees. So I'm really surprised watching this man's ball hit that hard. It's awesome.
9th frame.
Well, there's the bucket. That will make a different match out of it.
Show your PBA loyalty by becoming a member of the PBA Fan Club. Fan Club members receive quarterly newsletters, which include the latest inside info on the PBA tours, tips and interviews with the pros, discounts on PBA merchandise, contests, and much more. Membership $14.95 plus $3 shipping and handling, and includes a PBA decal. For more information or to join, call 1-888-440-1340.
Tough spare. So many ways to miss it. He found one. The 3, the 5, the 6, the 9. He chopped that 5-pin straight back.
I want it or not.
Watch the ball. Hooks past the 5-pin. And right now, we've got ourselves quite a close match. 6-pin deficit for Couch. Can he figure out this right-hand lane? He's got to go with a little slower speed for the lead. Yes. 4-pin lead for Jason Couch with a strike in the 9th frame. And he holds his own destiny in his hands right now. He can shut out Ricky Ward.
Couch up by 16, working on a double, and Ricky Ward with that open in the 9th frame.
And you know that Jason would have liked to have gotten real excited over that last shot, but the experience is showing he's saving his emotions for the closeout shot. as it gets right there. Jason Couch, high flush lane 23. Boy, the tide changed on that one shot from Ricky Ward, leaving the bucket and then missing it. Couch taking advantage.
Well, the best Ward can do is 243, and right now Couch, if he gets 8 here, that would put him at 240 with an 8 spare, 245.
He needs 9 on this ball to shut it out. And there's 7. He needs to make this
to win by a pin.
Well, he certainly is making it interesting. I mean, that's he's got the 2, the 4, the 7. Now this is the spare that he's gonna make this spare. Makes it 15 out of 16 times, I would think. But there's lots of heat on right now. If he gets a spare, he wins. If he gets 9, Ward can strike out to tie him, and if he gets 8, Ward can strike out to beat him.
Picks it up.
Well, that takes care of things right there. A 244 for Jason Couch. Squeaking ever so closely by Ricky Ward.
Jason Couch, your winner here in the semifinal match, and he will take on our leader, Tim Criss, when we return. Still some professional bowling left on ESPN. Next Wednesday, 9:30 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. The next last stop of the year is at Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis, where the tour's top players take aim at the Indianapolis Open title. And then it's the Brunswick World Tournament of Champions the following Wednesday, 7:30 start Eastern Time. And catch the last PBA show in the 99 fall season and of the century. It comes to us from the other side of the world, the Japan Cup from Tokyo. Pro Bowling on ESPN as we are getting set now for the championship match. And here's how we got to this point. Match 1, Wolfe over Monacelli, 235 to 226. Match 2, Ricky Ward came through in the clutch in the 10th frame and won with a 213 to 192 score. And then Jason Couch, a thriller, Marshall, in the semifinal match.
Well, it was. You know, Jason Couch had the opportunity to really just put him away big time with the second shot in the 10th, but he left the 247. Well, so far, nobody has been able to win 2 games in a row. You gotta like Couch's chances right now, although it's been a while since we've seen a right-hander. Monacelli bowled in the first match. Now we have Tim Criss, our tournament leader, bowling for the title. Well, I don't know if it was distracted.
Well, a bit fortuitous.
Fortuitous, that was just plain lucky. Watch this. The old squasher. The Jersey squasher. It's a beautiful sight when it comes off your hand and does that, I'll tell you.
First shot from our leader, Tim Criss.
Yuck.
Coming in light, leaving the 2-pin. Talk about a guy that comes close to the foul line. Shoulder high backswing. My. That is close.
Very close. We'll have to keep an eye on that throughout the match. Criss will go for the spare and picks it up.
You know, you get practice shots, but it takes a while to settle down into the match.
Officially lost.
Look at this. He's actually, I think he's going to take a look and see, did I come close to fouling? My gosh, I did.
Well, he's starting all the way back on the approach. You can't move back anymore on the approach.
Wow. Oh my gosh, ball in the channel. Well, he's big time lost now. Actually, there was a player. There was a player many years ago in Detroit, Taylor Lanes, who threw spare in the first frame. You see the ball slip off his hand into the channel. Spare in the first frame, then went channel. I know him well. It was me. 10 in the first, 10 in the second. I certainly hope that fate does not fall upon this man. Well, that was way left off his hand. And he leaves the 6-pin. He wasn't going to let that ball go in the channel again. That ball was at the 7 board when it hit the lane.
Was very early in the match, but Tim Criss appears lost. Jason Couch lined up.
Well, and for Couch, he really wants to put the hammer down right now and go strike in the 2nd, strike in the 3rd, win this match early.
Brings it back, and that's a double for Jason Couch.
Well, now let's take a look at the Dexter footwork of the pros. Jason Couch, and Jason always uses the same heel and sole combinations, and he likes to plant and snap on the release to create that real long backswing and a good leverage. That's another Dexter footwork of the pros, and Couch loving life right now, up 31 after 2 frames. That's a hefty lead.
And another one. So Jason Couch starts off with 3 in a row.
Well, Couch making great shots and receiving a very nice gift from Tim Criss.
Moved inside a little bit and strikes. Criss wearing some type of a device on his finger.
Well, to help him get extra leverage, there's Tim's wife, Sherry. They're expecting their first child in 2 or 3 more months.
That's right. Their Cocker Spaniel, Oakley's going to have to take a back seat here pretty soon.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Big, bold move for Tim Criss to move that deep inside. See if it works in the left-hand lane. Well, it doesn't get back up to the pocket. It's the 2 and the 8.
Well, Marshall, that's interesting. You practice and you believe you have a shot, and then he has made a drastic move.
Well, I think when he practiced, he had a couple of different ways to play the lane, from the severe outside angle and then a little deeper inside. I don't know if that channel ball scared him. That's got to stop hooking. That hooks by the 8-pin. And Tim Criss doesn't want to have anything to do with lane 23. And actually, if he's watched the ball, it's just going to hook right past the 8-pin. In a kind of a funny way, this puts pressure on Couch because you're not used to having it given to you this much. I mean, the concentration needs to stay at top level right here.
Fourth frame.
Leaves just the 3 and the 6.
Well, Jason really trying to get a couple of monkeys off his back. I mean, he's 9 tournaments this year, hasn't won, but also he's only won from the top spot.
And he knows it. And you're right, it's the 2 heavy monkeys.
.225 average this year.
He's hooking at that. That surprises me. Oh my gosh, that's an error. That's a big time error. Go hard and straight on those spares. You don't want to watch this ball just way too far to the left, and really a reaction of puzzlement on Couch's face. He can't believe it. I don't know if he can't believe he threw it that bad, or if he can't believe that ball didn't hook back. That's the lane that hangs. That's the lane that doesn't hook back as strong.
Trying to get it back here in the 5th frame after that open. Brooklyn, all right.
Well, we're going to bring in Chad Murphy, the ball rep for Tim Criss, and Chad, gosh, he just absolutely lost so far. What can he do?
Yeah, we had a lot of trouble with the oil down the lane on hole 23 and 24, and we tried to use a little bit of surface to alleviate the problem, but we're a little spooked right now. We just really haven't been able to catch a nice, decent hook spot. Timmy's so good at manipulating his hand, if we can figure out where it's going to hook at, then we might be able to make a little bit of run here, but that just hasn't happened yet.
Well, we'll continue to watch, and he might go with maybe, as you say, manipulation of the hand, and also maybe that, that slow speed that he's so famous for to help get that ball back up to the pocket.
Good question. I'd like to tell you that the strategy that we were using was make Jason feel pretty comfortable, but I'd be lying to you.
Yeah, well, right now, Couch is doing his best attempt to make this match closer as he makes an errant shot and opens in the 4th frame, then made a terrible shot in the 5th frame, but crossed over and struck. So Criss has got to feel like he still has a chance if he could just get lined up.
Chance.
Oh, he is open on that particular lane 23, the previous
Can I throw
2
2
times.
He wants to know if he can throw 2 balls. I think that'd be about the only way you're going to make this is to throw 2 balls, but I believe that still is illegal on the Pro Bowlers Tour.
And gets a couple. Oh, Ricky Ward picked that up this week, the 4, 6, 7, 10. This is the championship match of the Bay City Classic. Jason Couch in charge. And we're back at Bay Lanes in Bay City, Michigan. Nice to have you by. And Tim Criss right now trails by 55, 71 through 6. Jason Couch working on a strike, although he threw a Brooklyn.
Yeah, and he's still nervous. He doesn't have command of the pair. He has command of the match, but well, he's light on one lane, he's high on the other. He's asking what's going on, and what's going on is he's lost right now. Now, here he's in a situation where he does want to hook at this, but he just missed the 2-4, which is an easy spare. Now he's got the 3-6, the easy spare. Now he's got the 3 and the 9, which is much tougher.
Started off slowly, 50 under after 3 games this week, 47th after the opening round.
Will that one hook back? A little sarcastic pat on the back.
And Jason Couch up in the 7th, taking a deep breath because he knows he's up by 55, Marshall, but it's not over.
No, right now, gosh, he's praying for marks, which is a scary proposition. Have to stay aggressive.
I didn't do it.
Something distracted Couch, and you can tell he's not completely comfortable on the lanes right now. Oh, he got a Ricky Ward. He made a Ricky Ward, or is that called a messenger strike?
126 through 6.
Watch that head pin go to the sideboard. Now this is, you expect Jason Couch to do that. Bang, there it goes. Does he like it?
Oh yeah, Tim Criss up in the 7th, trying to bring it back, and it's not going to be. And I'll tell you, with Tim Criss, he's flirting with the lowest game ever, national TV. I believe Steve Jarris with a 129. Before that, Steve Neff, I think, at the Firestone with 134. So,
well, and if we're going to, in Steve Jarris's defense, Jarris also shot 300 earlier this year in Chattanooga, so he can play.
Brings it back and makes the spare. Tim Criss spares in the 7th. 1 Eastern, 4 Pacific time. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network, Go.com. Tim Criss in the pocket and leaves a stubborn 10-pin.
Well, and not only is Tiger Woods expected to be there, but he's probably expected to win. At least he thinks he will. What a year he's had.
7 titles, I believe, this year.
I guess I should be proud of that shot. Hit the pocket.
Yeah, Criss made a better shot, but he's running out of frames right now, and there really isn't much he can do. He's got, you know, I try and put myself in his position, and if I were out there shooting that game, you wouldn't see any smile at all.
Criss won a big event earlier this year, the PBA National Championship. Jason Couch on a strike in the 8th.
It's still not hooking. Couch throwing a different ball on the right-hand lane we alluded to earlier. It's the same ball with the same layout as the one on the left-hand lane, but it's got a hole in it. That extra hole makes the ball roll a little earlier, but not early enough for Couch's liking.
This isn't a for sure spare.
No, it's a tough, very tough spare. Well, he's got it pretty well in hand right now, as you see the ball hooking back into the spare conversion. Best Criss can do 170. Jason Couch working on 206. Any kind of a mark here. Another great shot. Another Brooklyn shot for Couch. He really throws some very interesting balls to the left-hand lane. He's crossed over 2 times for Brooklyn on the left-hand lane. As you can see, the ball in the 1-3 pocket. That's where I try and throw it. And he had that one nosedive in the first frame. So 3 of the strikes in that lane have been not good.
Oh, one for the good guys. Yeah.
Boy, that's great, because really a tough evening for Tim Criss, who led this tournament. Jason Couch, your winner, and picks up his 6th national title.
And the questions of can you win from any spot but number 1 are now over for Couch. He'd be glad not to hear that anymore.
A little
harder.
You got to give him a lot of credit. You know what? He only has one reason to keep working out there, and that's his own pride. And boy, I take my hat off to him.
Boy, last year a great year, nearly $140,000 in earnings. This year again, he won that PBA National Championship and finished 3rd in Reno. So he's had a nice year. Brings it back, sets it in there, just the 4.
Well, it'll be no better than 159 for Tim Criss, and we'll see him again very soon. Really has become one of the...
reaction anyway.
When he worked so hard, he was practicing last week after our telecast.
Now he's become one of the better players out on the tour, and he's done it because he works harder than most of the other players. Not a man gifted with the greatest of natural ability. He worked himself into being a top player.
So Couch, winner of the 1999 Bay City Classic.
This is like a victory lap right here.
And just leaves the 3-pin. But Jason Couch, your winner. We'll be back to talk to Jason in a minute. And there's the final score as Jason Couch beats Tim Criss 205 to 159. A beautiful look at the trophy. Time now for our highlight of the night, Marshall Holman.
Now it's time to take a look back at today's key moment, the Ginkoma moment of concentration. It's Jason Couch in the 9th frame, and just really needs to keep himself focused, keep that ball in the lane. He struck, he concentrated, he got it done. That's today's Ginkoma moment of concentration. Think better. Think Ginkoma. Back to you, Phil.
All right, Marshall, thank you. Jason Couch, winner, number 6. Congratulations.
Thank you, Phil. I just, it's been a long time coming since I won, and been getting to the dance here quite often, and I finally beat the demons in me tonight and took the win home.
All right, let's bring in John Mazza, co-proprietor here at Bay Lanes. First of all, John, a tremendous week. I don't know how you do it. A great week. You had a lot of help. You also bowled. You bowled very well this week, and you put on a fantastic tournament.
Well, thanks, Phil. We appreciate it, and Bay City couldn't be more proud. Jason, they say if you go to the well enough times, you're going to take a drink, and my friend, I think you'll be doing a lot more drinking in the future. Congratulations on title number 6.
Thank you, John. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, the check goes along with it. So another co-proprietor, Bill Strike, and Bill, a tremendous job this week, and you have a check for Jason.
Yes, I do. Jason, 2 years ago, I remember you ran away with the tournament in qualifying. It came down to it, and you lost out. But 2 years later, we have a check here for $15,000, and Bay City's very proud of you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Strike. Thank you, everyone. I'd like to thank the volunteers this week that came out. I'd like to thank John and Bill for hosting us. I'll be more than happy to come back and do whatever it takes to get the Pro Bowlers Tour back here. Thank you, Ebonite. Thank you, Del Ballard.
All right, Jason, Well, you didn't thank me, but congratulations. You won your 6th title, first this year, but a big win for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jason Couch, the winner of the 1999 Bay City Classic. Be sure to join us Wednesday, November 10th for the Indianapolis Open. Indy is the players' last chance to qualify for the Brunswick World Tournament of Champions. Catch all of the action on ESPN at 9:30. Coming up next on ESPN Sports Center for my partner Marshall Holman. I'm Phil Ferguson saying so long from Bay City, Michigan. Your winner once again, Jason Couch.